Good afternoon. Paying today's Pocket Sevens. I'm on the button here. This is a 5NL game. I have it here because it's related to some of these other smaller pocket pairs. And I'm not sure if I made the correct decision. I thought my decision was okay versus unknown. As I look at hands and start building ranges, I think I should have just folded. Folded on the flop. So folded to me, I raise. Here's my button raising range. You could probably raise even larger. I don't know if I was looking at fold to steal stats, but this was the second hand, or third hand, I should say. It just started at this table. So popped up, you can see they do fold a lot to steals. So I should be raising, gonna probably raise almost every suited hand, and offsuit if it's possibility of getting a straight, just something wide because these players fold way too much. Small blind 3-bets. He's playing 2016 and his fold to steal is 90%. His 3-bet steal 0, so 0 out of 1. He didn't 3-bet when he played. He's folded 9 out of 10 times. Information that I have is that he's 3-bet an early position player with ace jack offsuit. And that's his only 3-bet stat. Raise pre-flop, or pre-flop raise under the gun with king jack offsuit, and then just kind of check called. Check call down. So I think a player like this is probably 3-betting a pretty strong range. We can make an argument that he doesn't even have 8s and 9s in there. That it would just be like 10s plus, or maybe even jacks plus, and whether, maybe he doesn't have king queens either. But you can see that this is a pretty darn strong range. So then it comes back to me, what do I do? At this point, I kind of look back and think about what kind of hands should I have. Definitely, I would be 4-betting with some of these. And I think versus a player like this, I'm not sure if he has a large enough range where he would 3-bet and fold. So if he doesn't have any folds in his range, then I'm questioning whether we should have ace-4, ace-5 in there. And even possibly jacks. I think he's going to have such a strong range. If we do jacks and he calls basically with, jacks plus and like ace queen, yeah, we've got the pair, but any card higher than our jacks is going to be pressed. So this could be an exploitative fold versus a tight player, a tight player, a player who I think is pretty tight. So I'm going to take out those hands. Definitely kings plus ace king. I would 4-bet. What else? What do I call with? I think my standard is to call with ace jack, ace queen, king queen offsuit. And then of the suited hands, I call with the suited broadways. I think we could call with these some of these suited connectors, maybe not all of them, and definitely, I think our small pocket pairs we just fold, but we call with something like that. At least that's kind of a default range that I have. So I do call because I've got 7s, and the board comes out king 6-2. He leads out half pot, and we think about what hands misses on this flop, and you could see that basically ace queen misses, ace jack misses. All other hands he's got top pair or better, or one pair type hand. So I mean, it's at this point, if you think about what hands am I ahead of, ace queen and ace jack, that's it. So I think this is just going to be a fold. I think GTO is going to tell me just make this a fold. I called, and I had my notes that I'm calling because I think if he checks to me on a 10 or lower, I can bet and probably pick up the board. And my thought is that he might be betting with queens, jacks, 10s, 9s. He could be betting with all of those pairs. And then if I call, he checks to me, he'll probably give up on those because he is a tight player. He's going to give me credit for having the king. I mean, really, why would I call with something less than it? Or why would I call with something less than a king? That would be the thought. And then the 10 of clubs, and that's just, or the 10 of hearts, that's great. And now he bets smaller. So he bet half pot, and now he's betting, what, a fourth pot. And to me, that speaks like trip tens right there. Trip tens. He bet half pot. I got called. I bet if he didn't hit trips, let's say this is a 9, he's either going to bet larger or I think check. I think this is just a goading bet. So I folded there. So let's go ahead and check GTO. All right, so he should be betting 100% with his range. Not surprised. So we'll take a look at this, and then I am looking at calling 31%, folding 60%, and we do have a raise. What's interesting is we shouldn't be raising all in. I guess I should have pointed out when we made it to the flop, the board is 30. We're at like just under 3 SPR at this point. So I don't think we're at the point where we're going to be getting all in with any pair. So yeah, GTO suggests we should just be folding here. I'm not going to be too surprised. We'll adjust it based on his checking range on the turn. If he checks those under pairs, if it would be profitable for us to bet. If we think he's going to fold those, or if GTO suggests he folds those, I'm going to say no. So I do think that these pocket sevens should be a fold. Just not even worry about it. I think his hand was too strong. His range was too strong. We're going to make mistakes moving forward. So let's just say we did call, and we won't have our pocket sevens in the range. Then he's betting, I've got basically all in here or a quarter pot, which it's about a quarter pot. He should definitely be checking most of his range, and I think that's kind of cool. So why check? Why check? I'm calling with kings. Yeah, I'm calling with tens. I'm calling with six. Trip sixes. Bottom paired 2, 7, 6. It's like I'm calling with 7, 6, but I'm not calling with sevens. And I think what we're doing, we're getting some of these backdoor, well, 2 of the backdoor draws anyways. We're calling with tens. It's interesting. So he calls, and then he's going to be betting some, mixing it up. But I think he's going to be trapping, because now we should be betting trip tens, trip sixes, king 10, 2 pair, then maybe ace jack, ace queen for bluffs. So let's say we check and it comes to hearts, then he's basically shoving all in with some decent hands. So yeah, it's kind of tough because I folded, and I shouldn't have sevens in the ranges. But let's say let's fix this. So he's gonna bet with all of those. Let's assume he bets with all of them, and then we're gonna make a call. And now let us adjust these and say, he still has to check. He's still supposed to check. Let's change the betting. I do think that small bet is trips. Probably tens. I don't think he has king tens. Maybe he does it with kings and aces. Try to get me to shove. Maybe ace king as well. I don't know. King queen would bet. I think king queen would bet. But we're gonna say everything else is a check. All right, let's run the solver. All right, it's done. Let's go back. He still has. I'm still folding sevens. 8s, almost. We're folding almost all of them. 9s and 10s though. That's kind of a change. So tens were calling, nines halftime calling, half folding. So still, it doesn't really change much. That's and that just kind of changes what hands we're looking to get in with. So tens and sixes really are about the only thing, and king 10. Everything else is gonna basically be folds. So I thought this would be an interesting hand. Doesn't seem to be. I just made the mistake. So confirmed my mistake. I think versus this player, if I looked at these stats and saw, man, he folds 90, 9 out of 10, he folds almost 80% to steals, and all of a sudden he comes over the top with a 3-bet. He's not making a move. He's tight. He's got a hand. I don't necessarily mind the flop call, because if we flop to sevens, let's say this was Jack 7-2. Even King 7-2. I think if this was King 7-2, he bets, I'm going to raise, and he'll probably get in with Ace King, with aces. Probably fold queens and jacks, but that's okay. We're targeting the king. We're targeting the overpair, and that could work out. So made a mistake on the flop. Should have folded. You like this? Look tomorrow for another.